Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Chuck Graham Show. Today, we're going to be talking about mask or no mask. Whether or not you need to wear a mask, whether or not you don't. What does some of the science and doctors say about it? So bear with me. All right, well, let's dive right in here. Now, the question is whether or not you should wear a mask, whether or not the officials should make you wear a mask, and all of these, especially here in Mississippi, some of these mayors are going batshit crazy over some of this stuff. And so I did a little research on it because I'm not going to wear it, period. I think it's an infringement on my civil liberties. I have the right to my own personal health care standard. And of course, I found some case law from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is binding here in Mississippi. And basically, the Fifth Circuit goes on to say this. In England versus Louisiana State Board of Health Examiners, it's a forgotten case law, but it's still binding in Mississippi. Under all, and I'm quoting here, under all of the cases, we think it is that the state cannot deny an individual the right to exercise a reasonable choice in the method of treatment of his ills. In other words, you have a right to your own personal health care standard. So if you have multiple conflicting professionals in the medical field, some are saying, no, don't wear a mask. There's no evidence that supports that there's any evidence that it helps, either in the transmission or in you getting it. And a quote from one of the doctors, masks really don't, and this a quote here, masks really don't block the particles, said Dr. Jeffrey Dutchins, health officer with Public Health, Seattle and King County. Air can come around the side of them, and you can inhale the droplets if someone is close to you is coughing. If someone is close to you is coughing or sneezing. So there you go. It's not going to protect you from getting this virus. Now, distancing yourself may, but Dr. Erickson even says that social distancing, you're hurting your immune system because we get viruses and pathogens all the time coming into our bodies, and your body's fighting them off continuously. That's what helps build up your immune system. That's why babies don't have, according to the doctors, that's why babies are very vulnerable when they're born, because they haven't built up their immune system and herd immunity. I'm a big fan of that. Eventually a lot of people are going to get this virus, and once they get immune to it, then there you go. You got your best defense right there. Now, some people are going to die, and we don't want that to happen, right? Of course not. But hey, before you enforce something or take away some civil liberties and my choices to make, you better have a damn good reason why you're doing it. And that's even case law as far as when it comes to pandemics. If you're going to give up civil liberties, you better be able to show that what you're asking someone to do is effective. And there's no evidence of that. Even as soon as, 2 days ago, there was an article from The Guardian from Dr. Ben Kingsley, consultant in acute medicine and infectious disease at the University College of London Hospital, was also critical. That was part of the article. This is a quote from him. The report is overly optimistic about the value of face coverings, and it's incorrect to conclude that the evidence shows that face coverings can reduce viral transmissions in the community. He said, there is in fact no good evidence that face coverings achieve this. Dr. Antonio Lazzarino of the Department of I can't pronounce it. Anyway, Public Health of University of London agreed with him. That is not a piece of research, he said. That is a non-systematic review of a non-clinical study. So he disagrees too. And he also goes on to say that based on what we know now about the dynamics of transmission and the pathology of COVID-19, the negative effects of wearing masks outweigh the positive. Well, you've got two doctors that specialize in this kind of thing, and all of them are saying that it doesn't affect the transmission. So, if you take the case law from 1959, which is still valid today, 1958. September 9, 1958. Still valid today. They touched on something. They said you have the right to choose a reasonable choice. Well, is it not reasonable? Is it not reasonable to assume that one doctor is right and another doctor is wrong? Is it not your choice to say, okay, Dr. X versus Dr. Y? Dr. X says makes no difference. Dr. Y says, yes, it does. But here's the difference. Dr. Y has done nothing to quantify or to test this theory. It's their opinion. There's been no blind study. There's no peer review. There's nothing that's been done to decide whether or not face masks work, besides the fact that it makes you feel all cozy. In fact, you're touching your face more when you wear them. You're pulling them down to talk. You're pulling them down, which means, in my opinion, and I'm no doctor, but in my opinion, you're more susceptible to getting it. Just stay the hell away from people if you don't want to get it. But again, hey, just my opinion. But there's no quantitative facts to quantify the any kind of research. There's nothing that says, okay, yes, we took a controlled environment and we put these people in an environment and we subject them to a virus. It doesn't have to be COVID, I guess. It could be anything. But there's been no research, according to the professionals, that would give any indication that wearing a mask prevents COVID-19. Here's what I think you got. It makes people feel better because they're doing something. It's kind of like being lost in the woods. You know, I'm a big fan of Les Stroud, Survivor Man, and I think it's much like that. You just don't feel human unless you feel like you're doing something good and preventative for yourself. Well, it doesn't work. So if you want to wear it. I'm not wearing the damn thing. And that's just, you know, you give me some data that tells me that it works. Okay, I'll look at it. But hey, I have a right to choose which doctor I listen to. Red pill, blue pill, clowns or midgets. You know, I mean, come on, people. I mean, we got to stop the insanity here. Everybody's walking around looking like Wuhan and with their damn face coverings on. I wonder what would happen if I walked into the courthouse with a mask on that says, fuck this mask. Well, there was a guy one time in the 1970s that walked into the courthouse in California that said, fuck the draft. It had a t-shirt that said, fuck the draft on it. Went all the way to the United States Supreme Court. You know what they said? Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. Because, and I quote, one man's lyrics is another man's vulgarity. So, anyway, wouldn't do that. I have more respect for myself than to do that. But what I'm saying is people have constitutional rights. And just because you don't agree with it, it's the very thing that just doesn't make it non-valid. Now, the government does have certain powers, and I hate to use this word, to curtail your constitutional rights for a period of time, but they better have a damn good reason why they're doing it. And it better be based on fact, not opinions. Fact is, COVID's a deadly virus. Facts are that it's highly contagious. It's probably more contagious than the flu. And the facts are showing, the data is showing that it's not as deadly as we thought, or even as deadly as the flu. The flu killed more people than this damn virus did, or almost as many people, and we have a damn vaccine. Nobody blinks an eye. And like I said in the last show, nobody cares. Nobody blinks an eye at the fact that 40-something thousand people died last year of car accidents. 38,000 died in falls, just where they slip and fell. Nobody cares. You know, we're not going to stop selling Fords. We're not going to stop walking. So, you know, yes, there's people going to die. But there's also been hundreds of thousands of people that's died so that you do have these rights. We don't, bat an eye at sending our servicemen and women over to war that they could die, you know? Food for thought, huh? And like I said on one of my Facebook posts, meth lab blows up. Occupants die of COVID. And they're padding the damn pockets of these hospitals. And I think someone told me yesterday it was like $13,000. that these hospitals get for coding a patient for COVID. Each patient. And 32,000, my figures may be wrong, but 32,000 if they die of COVID. So what does that mean? That means man gets attacked by a croc. They find out he's got COVID. His ass died of COVID. Not because he got drug under and ate. I guess they could test the leg. But my point being is this. The whole world has gone insane with this. I mean, people, get back to work. You know, it's affected my business too. Everybody is in multiple panic mode. They don't want to pay nothing. They don't want to pay their bills. And they damn sure don't want to pay us. So, you know, I mean, kudos to Donald Trump for panicking the hell out of America. And I'm a very big supporter of Donald Trump, but that's what he did. I'm sorry. They should have kept the country right on rocking. Yeah, could more people die? Possibly. You know, more people get infected, more people die. But you can't shut down an economy because of it. What they should have done is gave recommendations and said, okay, you cannot be fired if you don't want to go to work or something of that nature. But mandatory shutdowns. You know, they did it in 1918 with the Spanish flu. They did parts, your hot spots were shut down. I kind of understand that to a degree until they get a hold on it. But not every spot of the country had the effects of New York and California. So, I mean, is it fair to shut down the whole entire country? No. This is the first time in history we've quarantined the healthy, and we've got them so damn scared they're wearing masks. When, I might add, that there are tons of laws. Almost in every state in the union, there is a law against wearing masks if you're above a certain age. But I guess we're not worried about that right now because we're all freaked the hell out over this virus. You know what? I'm a little bit overweight here. Well, I'm more than a little bit, and probably would be subject to. It probably wouldn't. I wouldn't fare well with the COVID virus. But you know what? I don't want to live in a world where you don't have freedoms. If I die, so be it. What can I say? We're all going to die. It's just a matter of when and how. You know, I would rather basically die with my boots on, so to speak. But folks, if you don't get a handle on this, the fear that's in the American people right now is going to be drastic or have a drastic effect on everything. What I think they should have done is just reopened. Because what I think last count, we had 400 cases here in Lauderdale County. And we have 80,000 people and a certain amount of deaths. I think it was like 19 deaths. Well, based on the population of the county, it's not a whole lot of deaths. And we don't know how many people has had it and didn't know they had it. But back to the mask. If you cannot tell me specifically and show me some study on why you're wanting me to do something that's going to benefit me and benefit others around me, with evidence, with researched scientific evidence, not about being non-science, about being pro-Constitution. If you're going to ask me to give up my civil liberties, then by God, you better have a damn good reason why. Or it's going to be bad. Legally. And, the fact is there are doctors' opinions on both sides of that aisle. And I could have quoted you many other articles, many other quotes from many other officials that say it just simply is there's no evidence to show that it actually makes a difference. So, but I'm not going there today. I showed you the ones that was the most pristine. Even Dr. Erickson, YouTube has taken his videos down, or him and his colleagues' videos, because it's of disinformation. He said the same thing. Mask doesn't matter. And he also said that herd immunity was a good response to this virus. More people that get it, the more people get well from it, the better off it is for everybody else. And now older people and the people susceptible to this should stay home. But to just have widespread panic and these mayors, good God. And I just read some case law too that was overturned by the Fifth Circuit about the prisoners in Texas. That damn federal district court judge, was just way off the chain. I mean, he basically implemented a rigorous, this is what you got to do. You got to wash the tables down every 15 minutes. And they went, no, wait a minute. Whoa, no. Fifth Circuit overturned it, overruled it, and basically vacated or stayed his order, because the decisions being made by Texas is constantly changing. Well, that order doesn't constantly change, and they basically said, we're not going to allow you to have an order, an injunction relief against the state when. And then they have to come back and get a permission slip, and that was the language they used, from you to, for this because it's constantly changing. The manner in which they're trying to mitigate this stuff is constantly changing, and I totally agree with that. I'm glad they stayed the order, because that was just asinine. Had nothing to do with the eighth. I think that was the Eighth Amendment. Cruel and unusual punishments, what they were arguing that it violated. And they already had measures in place to mitigate this stuff. This was just nothing but prisoners being bored and nothing to do and filing damn lawsuits. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you today. What do you think? Leave your opinions in the comments. I'd like to see what you think about this. And how's it going in your state? Are they just being crazy with all this and all these regulations? And I think this is a mad dash for power. And this ought to wake up Donald Trump. You know why it should wake him up? Because when the Democrats are saying keep the damn country shut down, why would they do that? Had the SARS virus, Obama didn't shut the country down. And from what I read, it killed a lot more. I mean, it was percentage-wise, it killed a lot more people. So did we shut the country down? Nope. We didn't even shut the entire country down during the Spanish flu of 1918, which killed 50 million people worldwide. So, you have to be really careful what you give up. And people the natives are getting restless. I mean, you see all these protests. Nobody's socially distancing or wearing these things. They do if they want to. But you have a right to assemble, and you damn sure have a right to worship. When and how you want to worship. And I can't wait to see all the case law coming out for this. It's gonna be epic, to say the least. This is going to be debated, and I've said it 100 times. It's going to be debated in law schools for the next 100 years, and I'm anxious to see how it comes out. How once the panic subsides and people will start looking back and saying, "Oh my God, the government made me do something." That's the government date raped me. They roofied me with the fear of the COVID virus. Gosh. All right, folks. Well, like I said, just leave your opinions in the comments. And until the next time, God bless you all and be safe.